Bring Home to Mom is an online dating site with a twist. We put parents in the driver's seat, helping them find the right companion for their son or daughter and plan out the ideal first date in coordination with the other parent. As a sweetener for their cooperation, the kids are treated to a fun and unique date experience that's paid for by mom and dad, such as a chocolate making class, wine and cheese tasting, comedy show, or dinner at a popular local restaurant. Let's give it a shot. So here I am, Ned, a proud father who's been looking for a way to get more involved in his kids' lives. I'll go ahead and create an account for myself and then set up profiles for a few of my adult children. I'll start with their basic information like location, birth date, gender, and so forth. I see I can add in more optional details like social media accounts or religion, but I'll skip over most of that for now. Then I can upload a few profile photos. And next I can select some of their interests or add a new one if I don't see it in there. And finally I can do the same here with values. Now I'm able to see a list of potential matches for my son John, but before I dive in here, I'll go ahead and create profiles for a couple more children. We can speed this up a bit. Okay, here we are at the Browse and Search page. On the left I can see the children I've added, and clicking between them automatically repopulates the list of potential matches on the right, based on their own profile information and preferences. In John's case, only profiles of women who are interested in men and are located in San Francisco are shown by default. I can then narrow the age range a bit using the slider, and further filter results to exclude smokers using the checkbox. Let's see, we're getting closer, but I'd also like to find somebody who shares some of the same interests as John, like horseback riding. As I begin typing that in, I see the field auto-completes itself for me, so I can go ahead and just click on the result I want. And then I can do the same thing here with values that are important to John, like loyalty. Now we have a nice, short, custom-filtered list of potential matches. Let's click on a photo to learn more. Daenerys Targaryen. I see all of her basic information presented at the top, along with a short bio. Below that are some more colorful details, so let's hear about an embarrassing moment. Danny once ate the bloody heart of a horse in the name of love. Well, that's not exactly how we did things in my day, but I have to say, I admire her dedication. And her interests? Alright, looks good. And how about her values? Love it. Alright, this Daenerys is one impressive woman. I think she and John would be a real power couple, so I'm going to propose a date. Now I'm taken to the planning page, where I can browse a variety of upcoming date experiences that Bring Home to Mom has put together. Each card shows me the date and time of the event, the address, price per person, and some highlights about the experience. At the bottom I can also see a list of movies currently playing in theaters that I can add to the package. I think this whiskey tasting sounds like a pretty great time, so I'm going to send Daenerys' mom a message to introduce myself and see what she thinks. Although she hasn't accepted my date invitation yet, she'll still get my messages and be able to see if I select one of these experiences, so I'll do that now. As we continue through the planning process, I'll be able to keep tabs on where things stand by monitoring the date status box in the upper right. Since Rayla still needs to accept my invitation, my work here is done for now. In order to see how the rest of this planning process is going to work, we'll need to step into Rayla's shoes as well. So let's open up another browsing window and log in as her, so we can observe what each parent sees side by side. Signing in as Rayla brings up her matchmaking page, and we can see her two children, Viserys and Daenerys, in the upper left. In the upper right, we see there are 3 items requiring our attention, and hovering over that provides more details on each. In addition to 2 dates already in the planning phase, there is a new item under Pending Date Requests, showing us that Ned has asked to introduce John to Daenerys. Clicking on that specific item would bring us straight to their date planning page, but first, let's head over to our dashboard where we can see all of the activity for our children. Ned's pending date request is still at the top, and below that are those 2 dates in the planning phase, which means that both parents have accepted the date but haven't yet booked an experience. Further below we see our upcoming dates, which are fully paid and scheduled. And finally we can see all of the past dates we've arranged as well. Now let's click on this invitation from Ned and figure out whether or not we'd like to accept. From the date planning page, we can see the messages Ned left for us and view John's detailed profile by clicking on his face. John seems like a great match, but perhaps a whiskey tasting is a little aggressive for a first date. Scrolling down the page, we can get a sense of what our other options are. Let's remove the whiskey tasting from the date selection since we know we don't want that, but accept the date invitation since we'd still like to set Denarius up with John. As we do that, the date status box in the upper right immediately updates itself to reflect this change. Now instead of a whiskey tasting, let's select the chocolate festival at Ghirardelli Square instead and send a quick message to Ned explaining our change. If he's online right now, he'll see those messages come through live, and we can continue our dialogue in real time. Now that Rayla knows the chocolate festival works for Ned, she can confirm the selection on her end. We haven't refreshed the page from Ned's side yet, but once we do, we'll see that Rayla has accepted our invitation and confirmed the selection. If Ned changes his mind, he can still X out of the card and both parties go back to the drawing board as unconfirmed. But for this example, let's confirm the selection on his end as well. Once both parents are confirmed, all of the other options are cleared away, and each parent can move on to pay for their child securely by credit card. We'll use a trial credit card number here though. After Ned pays, he's redirected to his dashboard with a notice up top saying John and Denarius will receive a text message once both parties have paid. Since the date isn't officially set until Rayla pays too, it will still show up under planning here for now. The next time Rayla logs in or refreshes, she'll see Ned has already paid and can proceed to do the same herself. With everything fully paid, the date is on, and Rayla now sees it listed among her other upcoming dates. Clicking back into the date reveals the full details, along with her prior conversation with Ned. By this point, a text message has already been sent to John and Denarius automatically, with some teaser information about the date their parents have been arranging. Here's what it looks like. Bring Home to Mom is written in Ruby on Rails on the back end. Vanilla JavaScript and jQuery are used extensively on the front end, together with Ajax to deliver a single-page app experience in many cases, as when adjusting profile search filters or walking through the date design process. The vast majority of HTML and CSS styling was done by hand. However, responsive grid system is used to ensure that the site is optimized for both mobile and desktop devices. Handlebars.js assisted with basic front-end templating. Real-time chat functionality uses Fey message routing and a second, standalone messaging server. Other APIs include Stripe for credit card processing, Twilio for MMS notifications, Cloudinary for profile photo hosting, and Rotten Tomatoes and OMDB for local movie listings and box office posters. The relational Postgres database consists of 10 tables that map the complex relationships between parents, children, dates, experiences, movies, values, interests, and messages. This project was completed in 1 week, from idea conception to product launch. Our team of 4 relied heavily on the principles of agile development to set goals, meet deadlines, and generally stay on the same page. We borrowed many techniques directly from Scrum, including pair programming when appropriate, twice daily stand-ups, and using a Kanban board to help visualize and manage our flow of work. Thorough whiteboarding also proved invaluable, especially during sprint planning, to help map out the user flow and settle on wireframes. For more information, please visit our repository on GitHub. We'd also like to thank the many Dev Bootcamp students who lent us their Gravatar photos. However, note that Bring Home to Mom is currently only intended to be a demonstration of technology, and all other information on the site is fictitious.